AskReddit by Treadicid Odyssey. What's a decently paying job that requires no degree and almost no human interaction? Truck driving. I'm a high school dropout and make $100K a year. No human interaction at all. Occasional interaction with a deer. Just to clarify, there are a lot of bad truck companies out there. You still have to do your homework and find a good company. The downside is you'll work to death. School custodian. I make $55K a year, not the best pay, not the worst. I clean the school alone while I listen to podcasts. It's not a bad gig. 5 weeks vacation, sick days, I work 4/10s in the summer, great pension and benefits. I'm off weekends and holidays. Shit, I'm a teacher with a master's degree and 10 years experience and I only make 5K more than you. You got a great gig, man. Petroleum landman. Travel to some godforsaken places but the money is great and you have very little human interaction. I worked on a project once in New Mexico for 2 years and spoke to one person 3 times on the phone. No face-to-face interactions. The rest of my communication was via text or email. Very interesting. Can you elaborate more, please? From what I knew, I thought a landman had to negotiate and acquire mineral right from landowners. Railroad signals maintainer. I'm a fucking idiot. Clear $100K a year, and 90% of my time is solo. I am a fellow fucking idiot. Point me to the man to talk to about this. People saying programmer who have clearly never worked in the industry. To deal with users' clients you need to have a fucking degree in psychology. That's the hardest part. Mail carrier for USPS. They don't even drug test anymore. It's a federal union job with a pension. The pay is okay at the moment with our contract in negotiation. It won't be astronomical but I have faith it will be more reasonable than a lot of doomsayers. I did the college track and got a 4-year degree. I made good money but was never happy. I started as a carrier the same month I turned 40. I get paid to walk and honestly have never been happier. I'm an introvert and simply don't involve myself in office drama and I rarely have interaction with people while I am out delivering. Maybe 30 seconds at most and even I can keep a pleasant demeanor for such interactions. I thought about this once a couple years back, but I heard horror stories about the hours, especially around the holidays. Lineman. 3 humans on the team but that's it. Making $170K a year or so. Depends. I usually see about 5 people plus foreman at every site. But they're usually changing out the entire pole. Railroad switchman brakeman, assuming you're in the US anyway. I see very few people in my day-to-day work. It's great. And it pays well now, especially if you work on mainline rail. My neighbor did well as a freight train conductor. The downside was last-minute calls that would take him out of town for weeks. If he was tired he wouldn't answer the phone, but that was frowned on. Everyone saying it programming has clearly not done actual programming. Yeah, programmers don't necessarily need a degree, however HR people 100% believe it's required. Water treatment plant operator. There is some human interaction, but you can keep it to a minimum. Interesting, there's one pretty close to me. Do you happen to know what they would start at for new hires? Industrial plant operator. Can be for wastewater, power, whatever. Learn how to punch buttons and not touch things you shouldn't. Can work graveyard and never have to talk to another soul and make more money. That's my current job. I'm considering an even more solitary version of it. Electric utility field worker. Although you are working outside, it can be risky. You have to work weekends. And you need to be available when called upon. Pays very well though. I already have a high risk job and stay work on weekends. Might not be bad. Truck driver. I'm home every night, make 85k, and I can go a week without coming face to face with anyone. I keep seeing people post this. How does that work? Don't you have to drop off and pick up loads or whatever? Automotive photographers. I make over $70k a year photographing cars for 7 different dealerships. I only really have to speak to the manager on duty to give them the daily report and have them sign my invoice. Of course I have friends I speak to occasionally, but really, if I'm having an off day, I just get my cars done and go. How did you get into this? Jeep seems to like my photos, but if I can do this as a paid job, I'd quit my day job in a heartbeat. Sanitation workers. I want this. People saying truck driving, but I'm a woman and I'm assuming it requires lifting loads that I can't do. America desperately needs truck drivers right now. My brother got into it post-divorce. He gets $65,000 to go long haul, and owes thousands for his training. My grandfather was a long haul trucker in the 1790s. He got $100,000 for the same routes. I don't need to tell you how much further a dollar went in the 80s. This is why there's a shortage. Less money, no health benefits, and unreasonable travel deadlines. Pretty late to this, but light rail operators for King County, Seattle, start around $30 I think and cap in 2 years at $55 or so. And you don't have to talk to anyone. London tube drivers start around £65k more with overtime. That's pretty solid, but you have to live in near London, which is a major cost. Water supply operator. I currently work at a plant that runs 2 shifts per day, 1 operator per shift. I only talk to the other guy for maybe 20 minutes a day during shift change. It's a high school diploma or equivalent to start. Can apply for licensure after a year and then step up all the way to class 3 after 5 years. I make good money for my area, and the pay is decent in other areas hiring for my level and higher cost of living areas. I really enjoy it. Nice and quiet since the treatment plant itself is nestled back in behind a couple farms. Nice forested area, nobody but me and some cows, 8-hour shifts alone. Just have to start and stop pumps, fill this, drain that, run a few tests on the water and log it. In a 8-hour shift it's about 4 hours work, 4 hours downtime. Lot of reading, watching movies, playing on my Switch, listening to the radio and podcasts. I really enjoy it. I got interested after reading this and found a job ad for water operator trainee in my city. I got halfway through it and read must be able to climb ladders up to 265 feet tall. Fuck that shit. Lighthouse keeper. I don't think these jobs are around much anymore, but I'd 100% do this. My dad is a truck driver and his company is paying $50k plus for new hires. He only has to talk to his co-workers and the employees at the stores he delivers to, but that's it. My BF works at a call center for a theme park and makes $20 an hour. It does involve human interaction, but 90% of the calls last less than 5 minutes. It's mostly just to fix ticket issues and answer questions, i.e. what time does the park open on a specific day, how much does parking cost, etc. I couldn't do call centers. Most questions could be answered with a brain and a Google search. Deleted. I mean, you can start working at a shop with 0 experience, but no way are they putting you in CNC setup operations without experience. You'd likely start at a drill press, part counting, or another basic step in the industrial process. Insurance. Claims examining. You usually need to have a general knowledge of how claims work to get into the industry, but once you're here it's pretty isolating. I've gone whole days in the office not talking or interacting with another human, and I don't have to talk to customers or make any phone calls. You don't have to talk to the claimants? Paralegal. In the right situation working for the right lawyer or law firm, and if you are good at research. In my jurisdiction there are no licensing or degree requirements other than that a licensed attorney is overseeing your work. A caveat is that some jurisdictions do require some sort of qualifications. I work part-time for an attorney and speak to her about once per month. I do have to call clients if she gets overwhelmed, but only to schedule appointments for them. I work from home. I used to remotely assist data on how various types of green energy site were producing, with an eye towards any deficiencies that would need remediation. The work consisted of crunching spreadsheets through various statistical analyses, which I mostly automated, and contacting someone responsible for site maintenance if anything was too unusual. I only needed to interact with those technicians, or my supervisor, rarely, almost always via email. I wasn't even sure how many others were in the same role at my company. Consulting arborist for your local electric utility. You can learn about trees, become an arborist while on the job, and if you live in a rural area you can avoid interaction. In California the job starts at $40 plus HR.